And let's get started. Let's kick off the workshop. And Angela and Arnab, thank you so much for hosting General Assembly Adventure Cafe today.
Hi, how's everybody? Thank you for being here tonight. We want to thank you for taking your time from your busy schedules to tune in. I'm Angela.
And I'm Jessie.
And that's Jessie. And we are going to talk about blogging. Just so you know, we started our magazine, Archive magazine, back in 2012. And so blogging has actually been something that has always been a part of our business. So it's something that we're really excited to share with everybody tonight, so that you hopefully will take away some really great things that you can add to your portfolio. Maybe you're already doing some of this. Maybe we hopefully bring in some new ideas to you. And we'll also take time to answer questions at the end. So let's go ahead and get started.
Yes, and we wanted to make mention, make sure you have something to write with, something to write down, or be prepared to take lots of screenshots, because there's a lot of stuff that we're going to try to cover within a small period of time. So here we go. Oops, sorry guys. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay.
Well, this might be a silly question to ask ourselves. Since we're in a blogging workshop, why do you need a blog? But when you really think about it, blogging is definitely one of the most valuable tools that you creative entrepreneurs out there have as a way to communicate and engage with your audience. And if you didn't believe us yet, a HubSpot survey says that 60% of businesses that blog acquire more customers. That's because when you have a blog, it gives your business a unique vision and voice. And it's a really amazing way for you to communicate your mission, your beliefs, and those values that you have core to you, to that audience. And then what happens is you become a valuable resource to your audience, which makes them want to come back more and more.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a couple of things. Like we mentioned, it's only an hour, so we're going to try to condense as much as possible. So we're going to talk about where you could set up a blog, how to approach a content calendar, because I know we're all very pressed on time, how to build an audience, how to monetize said audience, and low-cost ways to go about growing your blog.
So we want to say a little bit of a disclaimer here. So there is nothing wrong if any of you out there are actually creating a personal blog for yourselves. So unless you are writing exclusively just for families and friends, which is perfectly fine, but unless you are looking to grow an audience, which is what all of us are trying to do, you have to find a new way to attract outside people into your world. So we want to tell you that if you're planning on trying to build a brand around your blog, create an audience, and monetize, you've come to the right place, and this workshop is for you.
So the whole point is that if no one is actually coming to your blog, you're not going to be able to monetize your blog at all. And if you don't have an audience, there's no reason for you to worry about anything, because the whole point is for consistency. So some of the techniques and tips that we're going to be giving is mostly to help people stay consistent. And I am really guilty of being non-compliant with like a lot of stuff. Like I have really bad adult ADHD. And so I have a lot of techniques that I know she reels it in. There's a lot of techniques that I use in order to try to keep myself actually like on subject and focused. So some of these things, you know, it's meant for people who are beginners, but also people who want to make sure that this is something they can implement in their lives all the time. All right. Okay.
So here's an objection we want to bring up first. I don't have an audience and I am starting from zero. And I want to say that that is okay. Because what we want to talk about is you need to narrow down your audience. You cannot cater to everyone, and probably not everyone's going to want to hear your point of view. So the way we want to figure out that answer is knowing who your ideal reader for your blog is probably one of the most important things you could do. So take a second to think about that. Who is your audience? Who are you talking to? Because in order to have a successful and lucrative blog, you need to know who that is in your mind when you go to write that blog.
So we're going to be talking about how we can find out our niche.
Can we minimize this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so there's two ways that we're going to be talking about finding out what your niche is. So the first one is to figure out your ideal customer avatar. And what that is essentially the person that you're going to be thinking about whenever you create any content, whether it be, you know, a vlog or a blog or a post on your social media. So that's considered an ICA. It's marketing jargon, but that's what we're going to be using today. So when you see ideal customer avatar, just think ideal reader. And in order for you to find out who this ideal avatar is, you have to start thinking of the way they are thinking. You're going to want to find these people and find out what scares them, what drives them. Meaning, is it money? Is it love, family? What do they want most out of life? What are some of their struggles and frustrations? Because you will be able to create content based off of those said frustrations. Because the point is for you to become the resource and for you to be, whether it's you're making entertainment posts, or you're making resource posts, or you are doing how-tos or reviews of things. You want people to go back knowing that that's the kind of content that they're going to be getting.
And I will say a really clever way to even find that is you can even look in reviews. You can go to Facebook communities. Facebook communities are a great way in the groups, and look at what the questions people are asking. See how they're phrasing it. See what their frustrations are. What is driving them? What do they want most out of life? And then, like what Jessica said, become that resource. Another way is you can read reviews. You can go to YouTube and you can start looking and try to find where people are really asking those kind of questions.
Mm-hmm. And just to go a step further, you're going to want to figure out so much more about your ICA, because maybe there is a specific pain point that you can make all of your content based off of.
Correct.
So I'm just thinking of some stuff off the top of my head. If you were someone who's a personal trainer and you want to get more customers to, to more people to train, you could be creating a blog based off of some of the points that the people that you're training have, all about maybe food is something that people are really interested in, and eating a certain way. Maybe all of your clients are vegan. Maybe they're all moms. Maybe they're all people in college. So basically, I'm just giving examples of diving deeper. And so when you dive deeper, you're going to actually be doing something called looking up psychographics, which is just classifying people according to their attitudes, their aspirations, all those very specific things. So we're just giving examples.
And I think to go back to the why do I need to know their frustration? It's funny because you sometimes don't even realize why you're even writing sometimes. Why are we even making this content? And so even just pausing and saying, let me really think about, if I'm on the other end and I am that person, I am that ICA, are they going to appreciate this? Are they going to find this valuable? And then you start to think like them, which is the whole goal.
Right. And so some of these we mentioned, or maybe there's something that you can write about their frustrations. You can answer those frustrations. What are some other competition that you could be looking up? What are they writing about? Other things to help you narrow down your ICA is maybe hobbies and interests that your avatar has. What do they value? Where are they spending their money? What are their dreams? Where do they want to see themselves 3 to 5 years from now? And why should you basically be part of that journey for them? Another way for you to narrow down your avatar, the people you should be writing about, if you're not really sure about what that is yet, you can also do something kind of flipping the script, right? Making your USP, which is your unique selling proposition. So if you're coming from a point of view where you're a business that's already established, instead of, hey, I'm going to start this blog and then make a business off of it, because it could be, we have business people here also. It could be, you're going to put yourself in this sentence, right? So you're going to fill in the blanks. We at blank help you blank buy with, without blank. So you're going to want to make sure that you're, even if you're, I'll make something up. We at Angela Fitness help new moms with working out consistently. Just made that up. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you're already a business, try to figure that out. And then you're going to say, well, if I know what my USP is, I'm going to know the kind of content that I need to make for the person I'm trying to attract.
And I don't know why I thought of this strange example in my head, but maybe it's because I'm hungry, is I thought, we have a favorite Italian restaurant here, and I thought to myself, man, if I'm an established business like the example you gave, wouldn't that be really great to give out some of your go-to recipes? Starting a blog, your go-to recipes, how you're making it. What are the chefs using that's unique to you? How to make your own organic pasta at home. And now you're actually acquiring new people that maybe never heard of you, but now you're this resource. And now you happen to own a restaurant at the same time.
Right. I mean, like we said in the beginning of the presentation, 60% of businesses get more customers through blogging. Why? Because now they're driving people to come back to remember, like, oh, these people are doing the things and selling the things that I'm interested in, right? So here's another objection. This is going to require a lot of time and a lot of resources. I can't do it. Okay, Angela.
And the answer is, that's okay. Because, and we really think about this, doesn't everything take a lot of time and a lot of resources? But we want to give you some resources here that we just found, that some require money, some are free,
some require more time.
Yes. So depending on what you need to help you grow this blog, you can go to these platforms and search. We personally use Squarespace because it's user-friendly. Jessica's a designer, but she's still able to design. Maybe you need that more support at other areas. And this is where you could actually host your own blog off of and start growing your audience that way.
And I wanted to make mention of something that we say to each other all the time when we're about to buy something and we're really sad about it. When we're about to drop money on something that we're like, okay, this is going to further our business. It's going to be expensive. But you got to think of it this way. If you're eventually going to be asking people to take a chance to spend money on you, you also have to take time and take a chance to spend money on yourself, right? So some of these things,
I actually coined that, so.
Yeah, I stole it. I said it first.
It's okay.
Here. So some of these things, there's a lot of stuff that's free. We'll make sure to point it out. But at the same time, maybe it's something that is worth your time to spend a little bit of money. So like Angela mentioned, we do use Squarespace. That's the one that I have more experience with. I have used WordPress. I'm not too keen on personally using that myself, just because there was too many options and it overwhelmed me a lot. So,
or maybe there's other people that like a lot of options.
Yeah, exactly. So these are just some, if you want to screenshot, the Squarespace uses WYSIWYG, which means what you see is what you get. So you don't really have to worry about doing any coding or anything like that. So these are ones that are similar to Squarespace. So this is a whole other thing that we've actually pushed some people who asked us personally about blogging to do this when they don't have any computer skills. They don't want to have anything to do with running a website because, like we mentioned, there's people like me who are non-compliant. And it's difficult for you to I'm going to go on, I'm going to log into my desktop, and I'm not going to get to writing or whatever it is, right? So there's other platforms that will do all of it for you. And there are pros and cons. So let's talk about the pro to you owning your own website is that you own everything, right? It's your content, it's your platform, you're paying for it, you're paying for the hosting, it can't be taken away. If you're going to be posting on social media platforms and platforms like these that we mentioned, there is a chance that it can be deleted at any time. So each one of these has different rules. There's probably 10 times more than what I mentioned here, but I don't want to overwhelm anyone. Here's just some ones that we know that people are blogging off of and that people have had really good success with. So for instance, a lot of you maybe have heard of Medium before. The reason why I like Medium is because you do get paid. At a certain point, you get paid for how many people or how long people are actually reading your articles. You can get curated, you get to meet people, you can write basically as much as you want. And also, the cool thing is that you can automatically sync Medium to a blog if you happen to have your own blog, and write whatever on your personal blog and automatically get it published on Medium also. So the cool thing about that is that when you write on these platforms, you get to use their discoverability, their ranking, their SEO. You can build an audience, right? And when you Google yourself, you're going to be able to have your name and all your work coming up a lot more. So there are rules that that apply to each separate one, but we know for sure Medium is paid and they allow you to do that. Ghost is a competitor to Medium. Also, something that I was mentioning to Angela earlier, and people don't even think about this, but like LinkedIn and Instagram, since there's so many people already on there, you can use that as a blog. Like if you turn your personal Instagram page into a business page, which anybody can do that, it says personal blog on there. You can fit articles, you can fit information on there. And there are ways, and we'll tell you later, how to monetize your audience on Instagram directly from there. So people, you know, there's people that you follow online that you're going to be like, I know I'm going to follow this person because they're going to make me laugh today.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to follow this person because I like the way they cook. Or I'm going to follow this person because I love what they're buying on Amazon. So I'm going to try what they have. You know what I'm saying? So you guys kind of get the feeling for what we're talking about. But this is a cool option. If you just feel like you're going to freak out at the thought of having your own website right now, just get started. The whole point is to be consistent, right? So start where you are. Now, this is a page I recommend you guys screenshotting because the point is, there's going to be another objection, but I figured I'd just merge it in here, right? Another objection is, I don't know how to write. It's like, yeah, you do. You're good enough. You're going to get better over time. It doesn't matter if you're not a professional writer. That's not the point. The point is to get your message across and to grow an audience and to connect with people, right?
Well, and also the point of a lot of blogs is people want to figure out personal things about themselves. So you kind of have to speak in a way that is more conversational. So saying what you're saying, you don't have to be an expert.
You don't have to be the next great American writer.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like the whole point. But these are some things that when you create your blogs, these are some apps and some tools and things that you can use in order to jazz up your blogs, whether it be using your pictures and videos or editing if you don't have anybody that's going to read over your blogs, or also, so I'll go over these just because there's a lot to digest right now. So on the left-hand side, I made sure that all of our stuff that we're giving you is free. So as far as I checked everything, all of these images are free that you can use for your blog and for social media or whatever else you need. And the ones that we use often, because we also pay for pictures. Oh, I put Pexels twice. Whoops. I use Unsplash and Pexels a lot. Pexels has video. Very cool ones. And if you have trouble spelling, which some of us do, you can use all these different apps. Just check them out at your leisure. Grammarly is really cool. Ginger's really cool. We have a writer. So on the right-hand side, voice to text. We had a writer that wrote for the magazine for years, and he told us he was dyslexic. Meanwhile, this guy writes for Huffington Post, writes for Art Head Magazine, writes for huge magazines also. And he's like, I don't even write well. Like, I'm totally dyslexic. And he writes, I'm like, what do you mean? He does all voice to text. All of his articles are voice to text that he does. And then he goes and he tries to edit them. You know, he runs them through a program just to make sure that everything's okay. And then he gives it to someone to read it just to make sure that it's fine. So like we said, anybody can be a writer.
Yes, that's the point here.
Yeah. And then one more page to screenshot. Once you're started on your blog, a lot of the platforms that are already set up for you blogging, like we said with Medium and Ghost, they have their own search engine optimization. Squarespace does have search engine optimization in the back end that you can do. It's not difficult, and there are tutorials for all this. But here are some other tools. A lot of them are free that you can look up. So on the left-hand side, the SEO and traffic, you can actually look up key terms in your niche to see what people are talking about. So you can write on things that are going to rank well. And then you can also, use them to make sure that you're writing your titles for your blog correctly. So then Google will be able to pick them up correctly. So one more thing, and then I'll take it over to you because I know I've been talking a lot of coffee, is that we'll touch on the fact that you're going to need a content calendar. And it is not important, in my opinion, how you do the content calendar, as long as you have something down so you don't feel overwhelmed. Because once you get overwhelmed, you're not going to do it anymore, right? So we have a lot of projects that we have going on right now, like a ton. And I use Airtable for everything because it's free. And any of the stuff that we mentioned today, like we don't have affiliate links or anything. We're just like straight up telling you the stuff that we use, and If you want to try them, cool. If not, that's fine too. But we've used Trello and Asana before. I like Airtable because you can get really granular with the whole thing. And I have a picture for you just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, because it's overwhelming if you haven't. So these are Airtable screenshots of different people's content calendars. So the cool thing is that you can do the views as like niches you want. So you can break it down to, if you're writing by yourself, you can say like, this is supposed to go out at this time. This is going to match this calendar. You know, it can be as crazy as you want it, or as general as you want it. So as long as you have something there for you to kind of use as a roadmap, I think that's really important. And another just hot tip that I would say is that maybe think of things quarterly. So for us, instead of worrying about the whole year, we start thinking about what's going to happen in this quarter. So quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, because it aligns with our advertisers. It aligns with projects that we're also doing, and all the business partners that we have work the same way. So it just makes sense that our content calendar would match what they're doing also. But you know, depending on what your situation is, you can make it as granular or as broad as you want. And if software makes you want to puke, just use a piece of paper.
That's true.
So I hope that helped. Okay, I'll let you go on.
Okay, another objection is you don't know what to write or even where to begin. So the way that we want to share a really clever way to dissect this is a source that came from Overthink Group, and it's the 3 type of pillar pages that rank. So a pillar page is a single, comprehensive, authoritative content piece on a given topic. So you can see there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. So it could be 1 is what is X? A second one could be how to Y, and then the third could be best of Z. So let's look at the example under number 1. Number 1 says, what is X? Define a product, category, discipline, or industry. Make a case for a new tech. Top of funnel education. So the example they write is, let's just pretend this is a coffee or a cafe place, because they seem to all align.
Yeah, like a restaurant blog. Let's just pretend.
Yeah. So what is a French roast? What is X? So what is a French roast? So you start with the definition, why it matters, its history, and French versus Italian. It's a very easy way. And actually we need to read this because I don't know what a French roast is. So this breaks it down in your own mind how to even explain something, which is the first step of not becoming overwhelmed, which means you're not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at example number 2. How to. So explain a process your market needs to master. Another example is make a case for your solutions and philosophy, or step-by-step tutorials. So look at the example. How to steam milk perfectly. How to, right? So step 1, you take the milk. Step 2, you position it a certain way.
And then we don't know what the next step is.
Step 3 is a mystery step. So you can see they're breaking down what their industry wants to know, what their audience wants to know. And then step 3 is the best of. Make lists, tips, tactics, facts. You can be competitive and you can keep it up to date. So their example is a top 10 coffee makers. So list those out. Listicles is something that's very, very popular.
I like the word listicles too.
And that's another way you can do affiliate links as well and make money off of this best of, is making listicles and ranking those and having affiliate links.
Yeah, so this will come back when we actually make mention to how you can monetize your blog. But if you look up any BuzzFeed anything, they're making a ton, hand over fist, money. I'm serious, more than we probably care to know, over best of or how-tos or reactions where it's just a listicle of stuff, because they can also put sponsors in there. They can put, you know, affiliate links. What's the weirdest things you can find on Amazon to put in your hair? So specific, right? And then you can put it in a hair blog, and then all of it goes to Amazon links that are yours.
Genius.
You see what I'm talking about? So there's an actual method to people's madness when you start dissecting blogs that you may follow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm afraid of opening myself up to complaints and criticism. And our answer is very, very simple to that, guys.
We like this quote. I don't know who said it. But
I
stop.
don't think it's real either. It's just
I
on a
don't
building.
care. Stop trying to be liked by everybody. You don't even like everybody. Isn't that the truth? That well, the first time I saw that, it made me laugh so hard because it's like, they're so right.
It's so stupid that we even have to like mention this, but I feel like
But it's not though.
well, like creative people, I think are more sensitive, especially like speaking because we're creative people. Like you're putting your work out there, and it's part of who you are. You know, it's your heart and soul. And then then I'm telling you over here that you're like, not only do you have to like sell the work and put yourself out there, but you also have to like describe it and be kind of salesy. But the truth is that you just to be yourself. You know, I feel like if you just disclose stuff ahead of time and you're just as honest with your audience as possible, they can feel that. Like they can feel if you're being sleazy or slimy. You know what I mean? Also, some of the things we personally think about whenever we get criticism, because believe me, it's like pillars of criticism. It's like, you know, in the beginning, when you start something, you're going to be like, oh, okay. Everybody's like, yeah, keep going. And the minute you start getting some traction, you're going to be like, hold up. What are you doing now? And then it's going to be like, wait a minute. Since when have you been doing this? So it's just going to be like levels and levels and levels of people like criticizing you. But you know what? That's what it takes. That's what it takes.
Or how about for every one complaint, there's probably 10 compliments that come around.
I like that ratio.
I just
is that true?
I don't know. But it made me think of my ratio of back in the day when I was in college and I worked in the restaurant business.
Okay.
I always remember a manager said to me, don't worry about I don't know, we'll just use this ratio of 10%. The 10% of the people that complain in the restaurant, because you know what? As long as the majority of people are happy, we can't really worry too much about those other people because they're probably unhappy wherever they go. They're going to complain about the food everywhere. They're going to complain about the staff. They're going to complain about anything. So as long as you're generally making people happy, then you're on the right track. And the other people, you just say, well, they're probably just unhappy in general. You just move on.
Yeah. And there's going to be, you know, people that are going to criticize you, but you also have to remember who's criticizing you. Like who is it coming from? Like,
yeah,
is it from someone?
Consider the source.
Yeah. Like, is it from someone you care about? Are they really going, you know, I can't understand any of your blog. You need to have a little bit more grammar. I love you. Then you're going to probably be like, all right, let me go check how I'm writing. Maybe I do need to do a little bit more. But if it's someone who's coming out of the woodwork, so I don't even know who this person is, forget them. Yeah. You know what I mean? And try to take the emotion out of the situation.
That is so
important. Because this is now becoming a business for you. So you just got to roll with the punches and move on. All right, so this is the good stuff. Everybody pay attention, get your pencils and paper, take a sip of coffee, because we're gonna get into how you monetize the blog. So just to reiterate, we talked about you got your audience, right? Or you're gonna get your audience after this because you're gonna drink some coffee and you're gonna start writing stuff down for yourself. You got the audience, which you got your ICA, right? You figured out your USP. And then you figured out, how am I going to be compliant? So that means I'm going to do my blog on Instagram. You're going to do one on Squarespace, right? Or the vice versa. All right. So now, and then I got my tools. So I make sure I don't sound like I don't know anything. So you research, you write down your stuff, your blog is ready to go. And you're starting to get traction. You start having an audience that goes to you. Now you got to make money. Okay. So to be clear, we shouldn't have to say this, but to be clear, your blog isn't going to make money automatically. It doesn't do it on its own unless you are partnered with Substack or partnered with Ghost or Medium or any of these things, and you sign something and they're paying you for X amount of views. It doesn't automatically happen. You know what I mean? So you got to put forth the effort, and in turn, you can make your blog into a money-making machine. So here's some different ways.
One example is affiliate marketing. So this is affiliate in general is a way that you partner with another company, and they in turn are going to give you a percentage of money for you bringing them that audience, your audience, to their company. Okay. So by regularly promoting affiliate products on your blog, as well as writing reviews of affiliate products, you can make money off of that. And that can add up quickly. So even if it's just you writing, let's use the example of the Amazon, you become an Amazon affiliate, you write your listicle, and you make the top 10 #1 hair products that everyone needs to know about with blonde hair so that your hair doesn't fry out, right? You make that list, you sign up with Amazon, become an affiliate, whatever their conditions are, and then you get your special link and they show you how, and then you write your review and you put it out into the world. That's just one simple, small example. There are so many companies out there that can work with you as an affiliate. So whatever your audience might like, if you are a graphic designer and you want to write a blog on the best editing tools, find out whatever editing companies have affiliate links. So whatever your audience would use and want and need that you love already and you can vouch for and say is amazing because I personally use it or I've used it in the past, then affiliate links is a perfect way to put inside of a blog and make money.
And we did a whole workshop based off of just affiliate links, and you could do hours on it. So if this seems too broad, we're sorry, but I'm so sorry. But the way that you can think about it is that when you see people on, just a great example for anybody to research right now is if you go onto Instagram and you start seeing some of these people who are like businessy or the people that you want to aspire to be, they have the link in bio, and there's a ton of different sites that do that link in bio type thing. In there, they have the links to the affiliates. So a lot of the time it's like what you said, like if you are someone who is talking to blonde people or people that want to be blonde, you can, I'm saying, like, you would be able to have your affiliate links in your link in bio to have all that stuff. So we have that on ours with like just different things. So even with this workshop, we had people that click through. Whenever you advertise, all you got to do, go to my link in bio and all my stuff is there. So that's where everybody's putting it. And that's an easy way for you to monetize your Instagram. So you guys kind of get the general idea of how people are making money, and you're going to be able to dissect other people's blogs too.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. It's like once you know and you start paying attention, you say, "Oh, they're not doing that for no reason."
Right.
Now I understand. And once you have that aha moment,
Right.
you start to see it more often, and then you can copy, paste, and repeat for yourself. You know?
Right. Like the whole thing is too is like just start following people that you want to aspire to.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with that, because even if you say, well, I'm going to remake 10 of these posts that I like that this person did. I'm just going to use like a fitness, a fitness guru or whatever. I want to do these kind of posts, 10 of these. The fact of the matter is that it's not going to come out the same way that they do it, because it's being filtered through you, through your voice, through your experiences, through your face, through your energy, and you're going to attract your own people. So there's enough room for everyone to have a voice on the, on the internet.
A good book to read if you want to be inspired by that even further is Austin Kleon wrote a book called Steal Like an Artist. And he speaks about how everyone steals. That's basically what Jessica just said. You steal the ideas, but it's all uniquely your own voice. As long as you're not copying and pasting verbatim and plagiarizing, then you're good.
We have a podcast with him too, explaining all that stuff.
Yeah, we interviewed him for the magazine. So don't be afraid and think that I can't do what that person did, because it's going to be so different anyways. Doesn't even matter.
Right. And so, this slide is just basically another way that you can make money is promoting products or services. So not necessarily affiliate links, which is selling, making a percentage off of whatever service or products. It could be your own stuff. So we wrote here, if you're a health expert or health coach, you can write about like whatever it is that you specifically, your niche is talking about. And if you, let's say, you said you wanted to create a coffee company.
Oh, I did? Yeah, that's
a private thing where she's like, we need to start our own coffee company. We drink so much coffee. People would buy it because we're always so hyped up. But like, even if it's your company, right? Like, let's say you started a coffee company.
What do you think about this?
And then, well, I guess it would be affiliate links, but I could still be drinking the coffee and be like, you see how much stuff I do all day? 20% off. That's what people do. So if you go on YouTube videos, you can also see people are wearing, like this guy, I was watching a video, it popped up automatically and it was like Titans of YouTube or something. And the whole time the guy was wearing glasses, and I was like, threw them in the video. I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try to wear some glasses. I don't even need glasses, but his glasses look really cute. And he had like a little code at the bottom. So it's just, you got to be creative about it. But the guy was like interjecting his ad in the YouTube video the whole time, but I didn't even care because he was just like honest about it. You know what I mean?
I think if you're always honest and upfront, people won't be offended because they know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly. And so that crosses over into advertisements. So if you have your own blog, you own your own blog, you can always put ads. You can put little banner ads on the top. You can put ads on the side from people who are going to start monetizing off of your audience that you're building. So all these, obviously, some will come quicker than others. And when we do our podcast episode, we're going to explain the details of the thresholds that you have to meet in order to start getting money from other companies and companies that specifically will put advertisements onto podcasts. But the same thing happens with Google AdSense. So you can put advertisements on your blog through Google. You can do backlinks on your, I mean, like you can start seeing like how you can advertise through all these different things. But the whole point is like, you could just be natural about it.
And don't think you have to take on the world. So
good point. Because you're like, I
just all heard all this and I went like this. So I'm imagining everyone else shuddering. So what I was thinking is that just pick one, right? Pick one and go from there, right? Because as long as you start and you're consistent, that's all that matters, because you will naturally get better over time.
Exactly. And so this is just going in detail about how people can get paid. You can get paid based off of any kind of service that you end up signing up for. So some of them pay out every month, some of them pay out every week, some of them pay out after X amount of clicks. There are tons of companies that are built on helping blogs monetize. But the number one thing you have to remember is that you have to build your audience. Your number one job is from the beginning until the end of your blog, right? Until you're done blogging, you're like, I'm good, I don't need to do this anymore, is to interact with your audience through genuine connection and content. Everything else will fall into place as you build an audience. Sponsored posts are another one that you see everywhere on Instagram, on YouTube, I mean, like just about anything. Blog posts do that. There are some things you have to remember though when you're blogging that we didn't make a slide for, but you probably seen, is that you have to make disclosures.
Like FTC guidelines?
Yes, you have to do that. If you're having any affiliate links or any sponsored posts or anything like that, you have to say that some of the links might end up giving you you have to give a disclaimer basically. Yeah. And you should anyway, just because people can tell.
And they also don't care. So as long as you tell them, then they don't care.
Right, exactly. As long as you're not being shady about it.
Yeah.
So this whole thing, we have a lot of business jargon in this whole webinar. What time is it? Okay, so we'll wrap it up. There's a lot of marketing jargon, a lot of talk. The whole point is that you are turning your blog into a business. You're going to be making some money off of it. So you are going to have to think outside the box and your realm of what you're comfortable with, and start treating this as, man, I gotta bring people in. And you can do stuff in real life, right? Like flesh and blood, or you can do stuff online that will be able to bring organic traffic to your blog.
So some ideas to think about is writing guest blog posts for websites within your industry. You can appear on podcasts that your audience listens to. You can develop business partnerships that foster cross promotion. So you promote them and they promote you.
You can write for each other's blogs and use each other's, cross promoting each other and having your audiences check out each other, because people are not exclusive to one person. They could, you can help each other out, and they might want your blog for more vegan food, and then, oh my God, I'm going to follow her because she helped me with my blonde hair.
Yes.
I don't know why I'm using that as an example, but you know what I'm saying.
You can also think about virtually hosting classes, or if you're able to in your area, do stuff in person. You can offer to speak at local groups, community colleges, libraries, and conferences. And you can create a YouTube channel where you deliver valuable information.
You know what you're trying to do? By doing all this, you're like, well, why am I going out there telling everybody what I'm doing? It's just a small blog. The purpose is for you to turn yourself into an authority in that niche, right? You're the go-to person, because when they hear you speak, you're speaking to the same audience over and over again. All the things that Angela and I do with our business, whether it be the magazine, whether it be webinars like this, whether it be in-person talks, whether it be a conference that we're starting specifically for this, it's all to the same people. It's creative entrepreneurs, artists, and people who are working in the creative realm, in the creator economy. So everything is going to automatically fit into I would say a broader box, but that's why we were mentioning with the pillars of content. If you just use the types of content, you won't get overwhelmed of like, oh my God, what do I have to talk about? Because there's so much to talk about. You know what I mean?
And you know, it's something else to consider is that when you said you want to become an authority in your, that doesn't mean you're the only number one authority and that somehow everyone in the entire world recognizes you as this number one authority. No, within your small little area, community, wherever you are, you can still be an authority there. So it doesn't mean being number one authority across the whole entire industry. There can be micro authority people everywhere, right? Because everyone has their own little worlds that you're creating, and you're inviting people into your own little world, and you can foster development from there. There is the famous book 1000 Superfans. It was an essay, right, Jessica?
It was an essay. Kevin Kelly said it, and all you need to make 6 figures is to have 1,000 super fans. You don't need 1 million likes on a freaking Instagram and stuff. There's a story that we've said before in another webinar, and I don't want to like drag this girl or anything, so I'm not going to say her name, but it was like an article. You can look it up. I bet you can find it if you use my description. There's a girl who had 1 million followers. She didn't have an ideal avatar or anything like that. She was just buying likes, buying followers, whatnot. And she's like, let me go. She probably didn't sound as stupid as this. Let me go start a fashion line. So she went with a company and she wanted to have her own clothing line or whatnot. And she posted one, like basically she was trying to sell to the wrong person. Like she was trying to have her ideal customer avatar was a bunch of guys instead of girls or women that would buy her stuff.
So and what you're saying is nobody bought, is what you're saying.
When she basically didn't even know what to do. And she had one picture of herself. Apparently the clothing sucked anyway. Like no effort, right? Like just like a word. Look at a word.
Yeah.
But no effort.
Yeah.
So like, but it came out of nowhere too. It was like, people must have been, excuse me, is this the wrong Instagram? What am I looking at?
Yeah.
And she sold nothing at all after spending money on her ad campaign. And then the company that was going to do the clothing with her dropped her immediately. And it was like a huge failure. But this was just an example years ago about, the fact that the numbers don't matter.
Yes.
Right. And so also
which is the point of us, what we're trying to say.
And another hot tip is that we work with a lot of PR companies and a lot of publicists on the daily for other stuff. And we commiserate about things like this. And all we say to each other is that now, it doesn't necessarily matter what your numbers are. It matters your engagement and if they're actually getting response back, right? Because those things don't lie. Like engagement doesn't necessarily lie if you're not actually getting clicks or anything like that. So even if you're a nano influencer or micro influencer, you have a lot of power out there because not everybody is going to have a Kylie Jenner Instagram. Or does it matter? You know what I mean?
No, it doesn't. That was a long-winded explanation of what I'm trying to say, but hopefully get the point.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, our spiel is over. Oops. This was our last slide about what we're doing. But anyways, we'll kick it off to whoever has any questions, if there is any, before we end. And we thank you.
So if anyone has any questions, feel free to either unmute and ask or put it in the chat. I think there was a question in the chat earlier.
I'll stop. Sorry.
I could just read it out loud if you.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'll minus this because you guys can see it. Oops.
So I think.
Okay.
I think John asked here. I'm pulling up the chat. I think John asked earlier, why do 40% of businesses that blog not acquire more customers? I'm guessing, why don't they acquire more customers? And then how do you avoid being part of that statistic?
Oh, you're talking about from the 60%.
That's a good point, because let's pretend we are 2 restaurants, right? 2 restaurants that we're Italian restaurants, because you're Italian, right? So we both have very, very, very good advertisement online. And then we have a lot of people that come to our restaurant, but now you're in competition, right? And how am I going to attract people that didn't even know that I existed? The one who has the blog is going to be able to start grabbing the people who haven't heard of them yet. So Angela's looking at me like, what? Like you mentioned, if you're writing okay, for instance, how do you make this Italian dinner? that is exactly like the stuff that we have here, right? So let's say I'm going to use my sister-in-law. She's not here, but she does this kind of stuff right now, right? So she's like, I'm going to go onto a blog. I'm going to see exactly how this thing is cooked. Oh my God, this recipe is amazing. Did you know you can eat that exact recipe at so-and-so's restaurant down the street? Which one are you going to pick? You know, they're building authority outside of their normal realm. So if you start looking at a lot of businesses that are software companies, they have a lot of their own blogs answering questions that are in their wheelhouse of knowledge. Even if somebody doesn't necessarily use their software, the fact of the matter is that what's the statistic? If they've seen you 7 times, I forgot what it was, the marketing statistic. It takes 7 times for someone to start building trust for them to see your name. So the more people see you as an authority, the more willing that the more they're going to trust you, and the more willing they're going to try, like to try you out and try out your goods and services.
Yeah, what she's saying, it's like a loose based number that you have to see something 7 times before you're most likely to take a move on something. So think about that. 7 interactions. So that's reading the blog,
Yeah,
driving past the restaurant,
right.
Seeing an ad, having a friend give a review of it to you. Oh, now I just saw another blog.
Yeah, so you're creating more interactions for a person to build trust in order to try out what you have, right? So, and the whole point is for people to linger and stay on your blog also, instead of clicking off and going somewhere else to find the answer. I hope that answered the question.
So we've got another question in the chat here from Tiffany Marie. Any blog ideas for singing? It's broad, but try to think of a niche. She said she'll check Facebook groups for ideas. So I think she's asking for blog ideas for singing.
Ooh,
I
this is
wonder,
fun.
can she answer like what kind of singer she is? Because I'm just gonna make up something like maybe she's a soprano and she wants to teach other sopranos. I don't know, I'm just making this up. How to hit the highest note without cracking your vocals. I don't know how to sing.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much. Yes, I am. I could do alto and soprano. I've been really kind of overthinking it, but I know it's really broad. So I do want to niche it down to, some different types. And that's a great idea, though, what you said. I sing in the choir at church, gospel music, different, things. So I'm just going to play around with it and see what different types of ideas. Okay, someone says vocal warm-up, singing styles. Okay.
Yes.
Great too. All right. Great.
Because I don't know how to sing at all. I sing in the shower. I enjoy to sing by myself just for fun. But if I was going to try to be like, I need to take lessons just to do karaoke, so I would have to. You know what I'm saying? Vocal warm-ups, and what are some of the things that you've mastered within your own careers? Reflect back and say, what were some challenges I personally had as a singer?
Okay.
Other people might have as well that I can help because I've mastered this myself.
You don't even have to be a master. You just have to be one step ahead.
Okay.
Stuff that you're interested in, you find different answers. Because people will go to your blog now to find the answers instead of sitting there Googling it, reading through a whole bunch of different people. No, we're going to go to Tiffany's blog because I know she has the answers.
Great. Sounds great. Thank you so much. You've offered a lot of great content. Thank you, ladies. And thank you for the information in the chat, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, great tips.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right, thanks for that question, Tiffany. Now the next question here is from Kathleen Harmonson. She asks, is there a rule to follow when posting consistently? And should there be a focus on which days you post or how many times a week you post?
Hot question. I would say, depending on what you're talking about posting, like if you're just blogging, so if you're blogging on your own blog, I mean, the whole point is just consistency. So if you feel like you can dedicate enough time just to do like once a week, just do once a week. You know what I mean? Like, don't feel bad for doing it once a week. At least you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're already in front of everyone else is doing 0. There's a rule, obviously you don't have to follow, and it's different for every single person, but there's an 80-20 rule that you can use for your social media. So 80% of it is all for your audience and it's all for them. You're giving 20%. I mean, 80%. So that could be part of you giving, right? So one of your posts would be like, if it's a how-to, you're giving content to your audience. The other 20% of your content on your social media could be just promoting what it is that you're doing, you know? So the whole point is to give resources. I don't think that there's any specific number, just start.
And we've all seen the opposite effect, 20%, 80% about you and 20% of a resource. And that sometimes can be off-putting depending on what kind of blog you are looking at, if that's appropriate in that field, but we all know what I'm talking about. So, you know, the point is to provide value. And if you provide value to someone, people want more.
Can I just say something really stupid? But it's really, I'm scared. Really stupid, but okay, so we're using social media, right, in order to promote these resources. The point is to be social. Yeah, you know, like I feel like sometimes we turn it into, we break it down so granularly and to the smallest minutia. Like we're so worried about all these different pieces that we can't control that it like paralyzes us to do anything. And like the point is to not be a different person, is to be you, because you're enough and you're important, and what you have to say in your perspective is important, because even if you help one person, I mean, that's amazing, right? And it'll give you more confidence to keep doing it more and to keep, you know, interacting with more people, and you're going to grow over time, which will grow your blog over time.
That wasn't stupid, by the way.
It sounds stupid
no,
in my mind when I brought it up in my own mind.
All right, for the next question, Christina asks, do you recommend getting a certain audience before adding affiliate links?
Yeah, I would say try to narrow it down. If it's, I mean, okay, so
does she mean by certain audience, like you have a certain amount of followers? Is that maybe?
I think maybe
that's
the ideal customer avatar, maybe.
Oh,
but I guess the answer is twofold, because it depends on what kind of affiliate link you have, right? So if you start an Amazon affiliate link and you want to start making content based off that, like if you're going to say like, you're a mom, I'm just making this up off the top of my head, you're a mom and you want to show all the best baby products on Amazon and the stuff that you use, there's no problem in having an affiliate link already on there, because you're going to be making content based off your affiliate links. Does that make sense? It's going to match stuff to bring people there. But if you have affiliates that are like bigger and that require more interactions, you know, like in order for you to stay an affiliate, because you can get dropped as an affiliate depending on the company, I would wait to hold off for the bigger ones, the ones that are more lucrative, for when you feel like you're getting a little bit more of a grasp on your audience. That makes sense. So just so you don't waste your time. But I mean, like honestly, like you might as well try.
All right, there's another question here in the chat. Andrea McDonald asks, any ideas for a nonprofit organization committed to providing information, resources, and guidance to students who are also athletes or elementary college students?
That's amazing. That's a blog.
I was just going to say, that sounds like 10 different blogs right there.
I know, that's amazing. The fact that you have resources already is a big deal. And if you want to, like, for sure, build as many people as you possibly can for your audience, that's amazing, just to give out as many resources, because what's going to happen is if you're non-for-profit, then you definitely probably have like a big event every year to help raise funds. You probably have goods and services that you sell in order to fund your non-for-profit. I would say non-for-profits need to have as much information out there as possible in order to attract people to their cause.
Yeah, I mean, that reminds me of an artist asking me the other day during a coaching session about how to gain funding for a public art project. And I kind of brought her back to this. And I said, I don't actually know how to give you an exact answer for funding for public art. But what I can tell you is you need to start somehow writing, talking, and thinking so that journalists, media people want to pick up your story and talk about you. This artist is from another country. She covers social causes. She talks about certain things that have happened in her life. And I said, create that narrative and make that your main focal point. And then we can start thinking about funding opportunities, because you need to that needs to be the 80% you're giving, and then the 20%, oh yeah, by the way, I need some money. And I know it's really hard sometimes to think about that way, but I'm telling you, if you provide value first, the money will follow, not the other way around.
Absolutely, 100%. We'll still take questions as long as people are on, and as long as you still give it to us. We just wanted to put this slide up just so people would be able to follow what we're doing, and we are creating a in real life and virtual conference specifically for you creatives who are in the creator economy in Pompano Beach this March. You're one of the first people to hear about it because we haven't advertised it.
And we're also creating some digital course content as well, to continue to share. So if you think that we provided value, you can just follow us on our Instagram, and
you don't have to buy anything from us.
Nope.
You can just hang out with us.
That's all you have to do.